For a long time, power was imagined as something that hardened with use. The more tightly it was held, the more permanent it became. The more carefully it was controlled, the more secure it seemed. Stability was thought to come from concentration, from precision, from a single center that could not be questioned. Louis XIV embodied this belief. He ruled longer than any other major European monarch. His image was everywhere. His rituals were precise. His presence was constant. From a distance, it appeared unbreakable. And yet, what he perfected did not endure him. This episode examines how a system built on absolute control can quietly convert strength into fragility, not through rebellion or collapse in the moment, but through a slower transformation where authority becomes dependent on its own performance. The reign of Louis XIV unfolded in 17th century France, a state emerging from instability. Civil conflict had shaken the monarchy during his childhood. Authority had been challenged. Disorder had left an imprint. When Louis assumed full power, he pursued a solution that appeared rational: remove uncertainty by eliminating alternatives, centralize decision-making, reduce ambiguity, make power visible, constant, and unmistakable. This was not improvisation, it was design. Institutions were reorganized, nobility was relocated, administration was standardized, ritual became structure, presence became policy. At the center stood the king, not only as ruler, but as reference point. Everything flowed outward from him and returned to him. At first, this consolidation appeared successful. Resistance diminished, coordination increased. The image of unity solidified. But the system's stability depended on a delicate condition. The center had to remain flawless. Every ceremony, every decision, every public appearance reinforced the idea that authority was natural, complete, and unquestionable. Power was not merely exercised, it was staged. This staging mattered. Louis did not rule only through commands, he ruled through repetition. Daily rituals fixed his role in the imagination of the court. Attendance became obligation. Visibility became loyalty. Nobles were drawn into proximity, not participation. Their influence was reduced even as their access increased. They competed for attention rather than authority. This arrangement neutralized immediate threats. It also changed the nature of power itself. Control no longer rested primarily in institutions. It rested in choreography. The system worked because everyone accepted the performance. Yet performance introduces a vulnerability that force alone does not. It depends on coherence, on timing, on the absence of contradiction. As long as the king appeared omnipresent, the system held. As long as he embodied certainty, uncertainty remained contained. But certainty cannot be stored, it must be continuously renewed. The longer the reign lasted, the more the system depended on the same figure repeating the same role without deviation. Adaptation became risk, innovation became disturbance. What had begun as consolidation slowly hardened into rigidity. Administration expanded, but initiative narrowed. Decision-making bottlenecked. Authority became personalized to such a degree that it resisted delegation. Power was everywhere, yet nowhere else. This concentration produced an unintended consequence. Resilience declined. When authority is distributed, errors can be absorbed. When it is centralized, errors accumulate. Louis XIV's reign was long enough for this accumulation to matter. Wars strained resources. Fiscal systems grew complex and brittle. Court life expanded beyond necessity, consuming attention and wealth. Yet the image of control remained intact. This is where fragility often hides, not in failure, but in apparent success. The system did not collapse under Louis. It persisted. It appeared functional, but it required constant maintenance at increasing cost. The king aged. The rituals remained. The structure depended on continuity, not renewal. And continuity, when mistaken for stability, becomes illusion. Those who came after inherited the structure without inheriting the conditions that sustained it. The performance could be copied, the authority could not. What had once neutralized conflict now amplified it. The same centralization that suppressed dissent made correction difficult. Delay increased, distance widened, power became heavy, not oppressive in appearance, but inert in response. The court that once stabilized the realm became detached from it. Decisions were made within closed patterns. Signals from outside weakened as they traveled inward. By the time strain became visible, adjustment was costly. This transformation was not dramatic. It was gradual, almost invisible from within. And that is the danger of systems built on total control. They often fail quietly, long before they fail publicly. The belief underlying Louis XIV's rule was clear. Order required singular authority. Fragmentation invited chaos. Multiplicity weakened coherence. This belief shaped every layer of governance. But beliefs carry consequences beyond their intention. By eliminating alternatives, the system eliminated feedback. By concentrating authority, it narrowed perception. What could not be expressed could not be corrected. Fragility does not always announce itself through crisis. Sometimes it appears as silence. The absence of challenge was interpreted as confirmation. Stability was inferred from stillness. Yet stillness can mean stagnation. As the reign extended, the distance between power and experience widened. Decisions were increasingly abstracted from their effects. Administration became self-referential. The system continued to function, but it no longer learned. This is a crucial distinction. Control can enforce order. It cannot generate adaptation on its own. Adaptation requires exposure to uncertainty. It requires tolerance of variation. It requires the possibility of error. Louis XIV's system minimized error by minimizing deviation. In doing so, it also minimized resilience. What looked like mastery over complexity became dependency on uniformity. And uniformity, once disrupted, fractures quickly. The irony is that the very success of the system concealed its limits. Because it worked, it was not questioned. Because it endured, it was not examined. The belief that power had been perfected prevented recognition that it had been narrowed. When later pressures arrived, the structure responded as it had been designed to respond, slowly, centrally, ceremonially. But pressure does not respect ceremony. What follows is not immediate collapse, but delayed consequence. Fragility expresses itself when adaptation is required and cannot occur. Louis XIV did not witness the unraveling. He left behind a system that appeared complete. What he could not leave behind was flexibility. This raises a deeper question about power itself. Is control a form of strength or a method of postponing uncertainty? Does authority become more secure as it becomes more concentrated or more dependent on its own continuity? And what happens when a system mistakes obedience for stability? These questions extend beyond one reign. They repeat across history in different forms, under different names. Power that eliminates uncertainty also eliminates its own capacity to respond to it. Inward-facing systems grow increasingly confident just as they grow less aware. From the inside, everything appears ordered. From the outside, pressure accumulates. The transformation from control to fragility is rarely intentional. It is a consequence of belief carried to its limit. Louis XIV believed that authority required singularity. That belief shaped a system capable of sustaining him, but not necessarily the future. The cost of total control is not rebellion. It is brittleness, and brittleness does not announce itself until it breaks. This is where the inquiry turns inward. Why do systems equate control with safety? Why does concentration feel reassuring, even as it removes alternatives? Why does the appearance of order often matter more than the capacity to adapt? Perhaps because uncertainty feels intolerable. Control offers the promise of predictability, of coherence, of meaning imposed on complexity. But complexity does not disappear. It waits. What Louis XIV perfected was not absolute power, but a pattern, authority so refined that it could no longer bend. The fragility was not accidental, it was structural. And structure, once set, shapes what can be imagined. When power becomes performance, belief sustains it. When belief replaces adjustment, consequence follows quietly. The lesson, if there is one, does not belong to the past alone. It lingers wherever control is mistaken for resilience, where order is valued more than responsiveness, where stability is inferred from silence. Louis XIV's reign invites a final reflection, not on failure, but on limits. Power can organize, it can coordinate, it can impose coherence. But when it seeks to remove uncertainty entirely, it begins to hollow itself out. What remains looks strong, until it isn't. For more reflections on history, power, and human nature, subscribe to Timeless Questions.